This actress was not only the beloved Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies, but a revolutionary performer who defied every expectation society placed on her. She was a force of nature disguised as a sweet grandmother. From stepping onto vaudeville stages as a fearless young girl to becoming an unexpected television icon, Irene's life was filled with incredible talent, resilience, and the kind of grit that Hollywood legends are made of. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the remarkable woman behind Granny Clampett, an actress whose influence spanned far beyond her sitcom fame. Long before she became a household name, Irene Ryan's journey to stardom was a testament to unrelenting grit and determination. Born in El Paso, Texas in 1902, she was drawn to the magic of performing from an early age. By the time she was 11, Irene was already stepping onto stages, dazzling local audiences with a confidence far beyond her years. Back then, the path to success was far from straightforward, especially for a girl with no connections or a conventional support system. But Irene wasn't one to sit back and wait for life to happen. She went after it, even lying about her age to secure her first gigs in local theater. For most kids, the school bell marked the rhythms of their days. But for Irene, school became secondary to her ambitions. She dared to drop out entirely, knowing that her dreams couldn't wait. Instead of staying in comfort, she jumped headfirst into the whirlwind of vaudeville, a world that was as unpredictable as it was unforgiving. As a teenager, Irene performed tirelessly, traveling across cities and charming audiences as she fought to carve out her unique space in an industry that was as competitive as any battlefield. It wasn't a glamorous climb. The entertainment industry was grueling, often dismissing women with ambitions that went beyond its narrow-minded norms. But Irene refused to back down. With incomparable drive, she trudged through the struggles, performing in vaudeville acts and slowly building a reputation for her wit, humor, and undeniable charisma. She took every challenge as a lesson, transforming obstacles into stepping stones toward her dream. Her dogged determination paid off when she found her stride as part of a comedic duo with her first husband, Tim Ryan. Together they became a vaudeville sensation, captivating audiences with their hilarious banter and impeccable timing. This partnership didn't stop there. It extended beyond stage performances to radio broadcasts, where Irene's quick wit and lively personality shone brightly. Radio was the Netflix of its era, reaching millions of listeners in their homes, and Irene was making a name for herself as a talented, relatable comedian. Yet, while the professional partnership was fruitful, cracks began to show in their personal relationship. Following years of success, Irene and Tim's marriage ended in divorce. It was a tough chapter, but Irene didn't allow personal heartbreak to ground her flights of ambition. Instead, she steered ahead, continuing to evolve as a performer. She paved her way solo, facing what could have been career-ending turmoil with an unshakable belief in her talent. With vaudeville eventually giving way to Hollywood's golden era, Irene proved herself a versatile performer. Through roles in film, comedy sketches, and entertainment's shift toward television, she demonstrated an ability to continually adapt. Irene stayed relevant in an ever-changing landscape, but her career was only beginning to build toward its apex. It wasn't until the early 1960s, decades into her career, that Irene Ryan stepped into the role that would both immortalize her and redefine comedy on television. When producers began casting for the Beverly Hillbillies, they faced a challenge: finding someone who could embody the fierce, witty, and unfiltered character of Granny Clampett. Irene knew this was her moment. The competition was fierce, but she refused to let her age, or her lack of traditional starlet status, hold her back. In fact, she embraced every part of herself that made her unique and landed the coveted role. As Granny, Irene didn't just amuse audiences. She owned the screen. With her razor-sharp comedic timing, eccentric humor, and fiery personality, Granny became the heart of the series. Every quip, every glare, and every hilarious outburst was delivered with such brilliance that viewers couldn't help but fall in love with the crotchety yet warm-hearted matriarch of the Clampetts. The show became one of the biggest hits of its time, drawing millions of viewers weekly and cementing Irene Ryan as a television icon. But Granny wasn't just a role, it was an opportunity to defy the norms of Hollywood at the time. While most actresses her age were being typecast or cast aside altogether, Irene turned that narrative on its head. She proved that age wasn't a barrier to success, it was an asset. Granny was a character full of wisdom, mischief, and strength that transcended stereotypes. Irene's groundbreaking performance resonated far beyond Hollywood as an inspiration to older women everywhere. Behind the scenes of fame and acclaim, there were shadows in Irene's life. In her later years, whispers about an abandoned house linked to her name began to surface. The home, located in her native Texas, was rumored to have been left to disrepair, standing as a haunting metaphor for the untold chapters of her life. While the house itself was never fully explained in public interviews, its mysterious existence raised questions about Irene's personal connection to her roots and how her overwhelming success may have left fragments of her past behind. Adding to her complex life story, Irene's second marriage also ended in separation, leaving her to navigate much of her later years without a partner by her side. She poured herself entirely into her work, finding solace and identity in the roles she played rather than in personal relationships. But even the brightest stars must eventually set, and in many ways her life reflected the bittersweet duality of unmatched success and lingering solitude. Tragedy struck in 1973 during a live performance of the Broadway production Pippin. Irene collapsed on stage mid-performance, a heart-wrenching moment that marked the nearing end of a dazzling career. Diagnosed with a malignant brain tumor, she passed away just weeks later at the age of 70. For fans and loved ones alike, her sudden death was devastating, especially for someone whose spirit had always seemed so full of life. At the time of her passing, Irene Ryan's net worth was estimated to be approximately $1 million, a significant sum for an actress of her time. However, Irene's legacy extended far beyond financial calculations. She left behind a fortune of inspiration, especially for actors and actresses who dreamed of breaking barriers just as she had. In a world enamored with fleeting youth, Irene showed that persistence, adaptability, and authentic talent could outlast even the most fleeting trends. In honor of her passion for the performing arts, Irene made explicit provisions in her will for the creation of the Irene Ryan Acting Scholarship. To this day, the scholarship continues to support young, aspiring actors and actresses, ensuring her love for the stage and screen is passed forward to future generations. It's a fitting tribute to a woman who, despite her humble beginnings, shaped the world of entertainment with her bold choices, hard work, and infectious humor. She didn't just embody her characters. She represented fearless ambition and resilience in the face of adversity. From the laughter she brought to millions to the legacy she left behind, Irene's journey from El Paso to Hollywood immortality isn't just a story worth telling. It's a story worth celebrating. Irene Ryan wasn't just a performer. She was an unstoppable revolution wrapped in a gray wig and a twinkle in her eye. Her legacy isn't just about sitcom fame. It's about the pioneering spirit of a woman who rewrote Hollywood's rules, proving that passion, talent, and determination can change everything. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for more content like this. But the story doesn't end here. Click on our next video to witness the Hollywood actors who were mentally sick. Click on it right now, and I will see you over there.